From TLDR News, this is your daily briefing for Thursday the 16th of June 2022. Good afternoon. Today we'll be discussing some of the biggest stories, including a Russian spy arrested in London and Pope Francis's comments on Ukraine. But first, European leaders in Kyiv. In a show of European unity towards the Ukrainian struggle towards their oppressors, the leaders of France, Germany and Italy have today arrived in Kyiv. During their meeting with the Ukrainian President, Macron, Scholtz and Draghi will be discussing Ukrainian aspirations to join the EU and how exactly their respective nations can help to deter the Russian aggressors. About this, Zelensky's chief of staff said, "Food security, weapons and support for Ukraine are important topics for discussion." In addition to these talks, simply the fact that the leaders of three of the biggest European countries are in Kyiv will send a strong message to the world about the support for Ukraine. This does, though, come with risk for the three leaders, as demonstrated by the fact that air raid sirens started blaring not long after they arrived. On Monday, a man in his 40s was arrested in the UK on suspicion of spying for Russia. The man was arrested at London's Gatwick Airport as he was trying to board a departing flight. The arrest was made under the UK's anti-espionage law, the Official Secrets Act, and comes after a joint operation between the Counter-Terrorism Command on Scotland Yard, the Metropolitan Police's base, and British Security Services. At time of writing, the man remains in custody. A spokesperson for the Metropolitan Police confirmed that an individual had indeed been arrested at Gatwick Airport on suspicion of offences under Section 1 of the Official Secrets Act 1911. Section 1 of the Act prohibits the making or communicating of any sketch, plane, model, article, note, or any other document or information likely to be useful to an enemy. Inquiries continue. There's more on the way, but be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to make the daily briefing part of your daily routine. Or just search for us on your podcast app to listen along. Throughout Putin's invasion of Ukraine, support for Putin and Russia more broadly has been found wanting, with even their seemingly closest allies, such as China, being ambiguous in public statements and urging a peaceful end to the conflict. Until now. Yesterday, the Chinese president, Xi Jinping, offered the most unambiguous declaration of support to Vladimir Putin since the war began. In a statement to the state broadcaster CCTV, Xi said that China is willing to mutually support Russia on core interests and matters of paramount concern, such as sovereignty and security. It must also be noted that Xi refused to refer to the conflict as a war, instead deferring to Putin's declaration of the conflict as a special military operation. It remains to be seen just how and when these words of support will be translated into tangible action. The head of the Roman Catholic Church, Pope Francis, has come under fire for suggesting that the war in Ukraine was perhaps somehow provoked. In an interview with an Italian periodical, the Pope condemned the ferocity and cruelty of the Russian troops, before going on to remark that we do not see the whole drama unfolding behind this war, which was, perhaps, somehow either provoked or not prevented. The Pope stressed that there are no good guys and bad guys in this conflict, and retorted that it would be simplistic and wrong to suggest that he is pro-Putin. He did nonetheless praise the heroism of the Ukrainian people in light of world war, global interest, arms sales and geopolitical appropriation, which is martyring a heroic people. Moving to the UK, and things are getting even trickier for Johnson right now, following last night the resignation of his ethics advisor. Lord Geit, the second ethics advisor to resign in 2 years, published the following statement. "With regret, I feel that it is right that I am resigning from my post as independent advisor on ministers' interests." In a grilling by MPs earlier this week, Geit admitted that it was reasonable to suggest that the Prime Minister had broken the ministerial code, following the Partygate scandal. In British politics, it's generally accepted that serious breaches of the ministerial code should result in resignation. At the time of writing, Geit's letter to the Prime Minister about his resignation has not been published, but the government is under extreme pressure today to do so. It's presumed that it's an uncomfortable read for the Prime Minister, and could, if it is published, put more pressure on the PM to quit. That's all we have time for on YouTube today, but we have an exclusive interview with UK in a Changing Europe, exclusively coming to Nebula this evening. In that, we discuss Brexit thus far, and if it's been a success. Nebula subscribers not only get everything you've already watched ad-free, but also an extended edition of the show every single day, available to watch on Nebula or stream on your podcast app of choice. So if you want to support the channel and get a more extensive daily briefing every day, you'll want to sign up. And there's good news. Our friends at CuriosityStream, the streaming service which offers some of the best documentaries, is offering a deal whereby you can get both platforms, CuriosityStream and Nebula, for less than $15 a year. That's all the best documentaries you could want on CuriosityStream, and then more TLDR on Nebula, including the extended briefing, other full exclusive TLDR videos, and it's always ad-free. Click the link below to get both services for less than $15 a year and support the channel.